to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, become aware of any feelings of tension or stress in your body. As you breathe in and breathe out, just decide that tension and that stress is not necessary here. So as you breathe in that feeling of relaxation, just allow your body to let go of that tension and stress and to feel that it's leaving your body in your outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed, relaxing those eyelids, the muscles around your eyes, to the extent that there is no desire to open them. And even if you tried, your unconscious wants them to be closed to enable you to think inwards into your imagination, memories, and the future, to enable a powerful change to take place. A change that you've been thinking about for a while. And the clues have been there all along. Emotions aren't problems. Emotions are your body's attempt to communicate with you. Any feelings of regret, shame, guilt, low energy. What if these were a desperate plea from your unconscious mind for you to make a change, to take your future on a different trajectory, a positive direction? And with any trajectory, even the slightest change means that as time goes on, you end up in a very different place. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, releasing that tension, and allow your imagination to take you to a beautiful beach, a stunning beach, on the perfect day with the perfect weather. Maybe you can see the sun, the blue skies. Maybe there are a few clouds, a bit of a breeze. And here in this place, I want you to feel an incredible connection with nature. Any trees, any bushes, even the grass, the sea, the beach. Everything around is nature. And I want you to experience a sense of awe. Because of everything that exists in the world, it's nature that can give a true sense of the feeling of being in awe. As you connect with that feeling of possibility, of significance, notice that any remaining tension is just melting away, like snow thawing under the sun. I want you to get a sense that that tension doesn't belong on you right now. And as you release that tension, you're able to truly connect with that part of you that knows what you're capable of, what your potential truly is. And we're going to explore a future where that potential isn't realized, and that alcohol and the consumption of alcohol is what causes you to never live up to your potential. Somewhere on this beach, I want you to imagine, are two doors side by side, not connected to a building, just a door frame and a door. And each door is a portal into a different future. I want you to imagine you're standing in front of the first door, and the first door represents a future where you're dependent on alcohol. I want you to walk through that door and imagine that you're walking into a future that when you're triggered, when you're overwhelmed, when you're stressed or pressured, there is a desire to drink. And I want you to imagine that you're in one of those situations. It's been a tough day, stressful, overwhelming. And I want you to see your favorite drink there in front of you. Maybe it's a glass of Prosecco, maybe a gin and tonic, maybe a different wine or a different alcoholic drink. And I want you to imagine that you're tasting it, you're smelling it. And in the moment, it may feel good. But I want you to imagine that even if it helps to deal with that stress, to deal with that anxiety, that overwhelm, you're teaching your brain to desire this as a solution to a problem. And let's follow that timeline down into the future, where you become more and more reliant on drink. The human body becomes tolerant, so more alcohol is required to give the same feelings. And I want you to experience that dependency. But this time, observe yourself like you're someone else. Like you're a secret spy following your life. A life where you use drink to cope. And I want you to see the years go by. And I want you to see the impact it's having on your health, on your emotional state, on your career or your business, and on the relationship with those that you love the most. I want you to imagine going perhaps 2, 3, 4 years in the future and witnessing a time that you're at a place where you've gone too far, that you didn't know how or when to stop. A place that, imagine waking up with a hangover, feeling dreadful, but imagining that you've said something that has permanently damaged a relationship with someone that you deeply care for. And then I want you to step into that version of you stepping into that feeling of pain and regret, shame or embarrassment, and knowing that it's the dependency on alcohol that contributed to this. But imagine that even this moment wasn't enough to make a resolution, a decision that you don't want and you don't need this. I want you to disconnect from yourself, again observe, perhaps going further in the future. And perhaps in this future, maybe to deal with the regret, the shame, you see yourself drinking more. And I want you to see a future where you're now entirely dependent on alcohol, always wondering when the next opportunity to drink is. And again, observe the impact it's had on your friendships, your family, your health, the overall quality of life, and your ability to live the life that you desire. Go even further into the future and just see that it's taking its toll. Alcohol makes no difference to the body in just one day or 1 week or 1 year, but being used over time, it can erode the body, contribute to disease. Addictions can be formed. And I want you to see yourself doing those things that you would be embarrassed to see yourself doing. But you're now attached to needing alcohol just to live at this point. And I want it to reach a point where you decide enough is enough. And when you're at that point, you can let me know. That's it. I want you to imagine now watching everything in rewind. Everything's happening backwards, all the way until you see yourself walking back through the door, backwards, back on that beach. You're now in your body again, about to step through the second door. But before you do, I want you to think back to one vivid memory of a time when drinking alcohol was deeply unpleasant for you. The smell disgusted you. The taste disgusted you. How it affected your decision making, the choices, all of it was unpleasant for some reason. Connect with that feeling that you don't want this, and you certainly don't need it. And when all parts of you are ready to leave alcohol in the past, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then walk through the second door. Again, becoming an observer of that version of you that has decided you don't want alcohol and you don't need alcohol. And just see what happens. See that it doesn't make too much difference in the first few days, weeks, but then observe a time where you can see that you're triggered. Something's upset you. The kind of circumstances where a different version of you would have opened a bottle of wine or poured yourself a gin and tonic. Except in this future, that version of you doesn't want it and doesn't need it. And see that version of you doing something else. Perhaps connecting with nature, going to a forest, going to a beach. Perhaps you see yourself doing yoga, experiencing deep meditation and a connection with yourself. Or perhaps observe yourself reading a good book. See yourself turning the pages, knowing that your body's turning your pages, but your mind is now disappeared into the story, completely escaping the reality of your existence and experiencing a new reality within the story. As you observe yourself doing things other than drinking, you realize that not only is drinking not necessary to deal with stress, anxiety, overwhelm, or sadness, but in every case it makes things worse. And by observing yourself doing alternatives, you deal with the problem and enrich your life, giving you more experiences, more health, more vitality. And I want you to follow this future as days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and months turn into years, and see that you seem to be flourishing. There's a spring in your step, a sparkle in your eye, a glow. See yourself not wanting alcohol, not needing alcohol, and that life just gets better and better. Not easy. Nobody said it would be easy. But in this future, you feel that you have the resources to cope. That even a bad day brings opportunities for wisdom, resilience, and reflection. Because you need the bad days to appreciate the good days. You need the struggle to appreciate the satisfaction. If the journey was easy, it wouldn't give you such feelings of pride and accomplishment. So observe this future. It's not an easy future. It's not an easy life. But it's fulfilling. It's worthwhile. It's significant. A future you can be proud of. And I want you to see moments where you experience adversity, stress, setbacks, and yet alcohol is not wanted or needed to help. You have so many other options, and see yourself utilizing those options each time, giving you a sense of being strong, empowered, and optimistic that if you can deal with the tough times, nothing will hold you back, giving you a feeling of resilience and inner strength and positivity, that you can pursue a future that you desire and you deserve. And if all parts of you want this future and are willing to reconcile that alcohol has no part in this future, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to see a point in this future where you're happy, content, fulfilled, and step into that version of you and connect with those emotions, knowing that this exists in your future. And then find yourself back on the beach in front of those two doors, knowing that you can always choose the other door. You just know where that door can lead. And you'd rather travel down a future that gives you everything you deserve. It's time to leave the beach as you return to the present, listening to my voice firmly in this moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that all parts of you are in your physical body right now. As very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling connected to a new identity, an identity where you don't want alcohol and you don't need alcohol, and it's just a relic of your past. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.